Hey guys! So today we are filming part 2 of our moving to London vlog. This vlog is just slightly different to what we normally do for our vlogs because today's vlog is actually sponsored by an app called Badi. The reason why we're tying this in with our moving to London series is basically because this app is a way of finding a flat wherever you are. If you're in London, it's in Italy, it's in Spain, it actually started in Spain. It's a really handy tool of finding a flat, and the way that it's different is, well, one, it's an app, so everything's on apps these days. People love their apps. But two, it kind of matches you with people on terms of personality. So it puts a lot of emphasis on things like, you know, how you are as a person, like kind of music tastes, what kind of hobbies are you interested in, sports, things like that.
I think probably, yeah, the main point of difference for it compared to like some other websites and things like that, because you can actually use Badi on a website as well if you prefer, rather than app, but phone's kind of handy, is that, yeah, it matches you based on personality types, but also something that I actually really liked about it was you can, it comes up with a map on your phone, and so then it just pops up with all the places on there in areas that you live in, so you can go straight away and be like, yeah, this is really close to my work, this is close to like where I like to go out, and so you can search places around there.
And it's a very millennial style app, the way that it's set up, the way that you use it, it's quick functions, it's very like smooth kind of use, but in terms of the fact that it's placing the emphasis on the flatmates, I think it's really quite important. Perhaps if we had have used Badi, we might have avoided a certain circumstance that happened with us.
So yeah, our first house that we kind of moved to over here, we just kind of grabbed it off of a Facebook page. Actually, a Facebook page we mentioned in our last video, so go on, use that page. It's actually amazing for a lot of different tips and tricks for London, but our housing situation we got off there wasn't so great. So at first everything seemed like it was okay. The only thing we really had in common with our housemates was that we were all from Australia or New Zealand. And then everything was like fine to begin with, we all kind of got along. But then after a little while, we realized that nobody had been paying our council tax. We didn't actually even know what that was. No one had really brought it up to us. All bills were supposed to be included, so no one had really thought about it. And we came home from work one day to a court summons through our door, and things very quickly went downhill. Everyone kind of like pressured us to put our names on there, and everyone sort of like started pitting against each other. Like you had Mel and I kind of, you know, we were friends, so we were kind of over here, and then there'd be like, you know, another two friends there, and everyone just kind of suddenly, it became apparent we weren't really meshing and gelling together, and it was like, you know, it wasn't a very friendly environment. So we ended up having to get out of there pretty quickly, which was a very stressful situation, but I guess we were lucky in the sense we found places. But perhaps if we had, you know, found a place where we actually got along with the people and knew them quite well, I think it helps you build that relationship and that respect between each other, so you can avoid things like that. Whereas instead, when bad things do happen, instead of pitting against each other, you will kind of come together to work together to fix it. So I think that's really good. And then obviously, other than that, it's amazing if you have housemates that you can get along with.
Exactly.
You can go out for a drink with, you know, if you're out of butter, that you don't mind being like, oh, like, do you mind if I borrow some butter or something? And you know that they're not going to care. Like, just having a really healthy living environment and liking the people that you live with, I think is super important, because it helps you just like, you want to have a welcoming environment to come home to.
Continuing on us using the app, kind of the way that that works in, that little story there works in, is that, well, I actually started, I put myself on the app, I built my profile and everything like that, and I was putting up an ad because we're looking for a new flatmate in my particular place where we are in Angel. And let me just pull up the app, if I can remember where I put it on my iPhone. What I loved about it was building the profile part. It asks you kind of like your personality traits. I will just list off a few of them. It was things like active, calm, caring, cheerful, determined, easygoing, enthusiastic, flexible, fun, honest, joker, friendly, optimistic, organized, proactive, passionate, rational, tolerant, relaxed, practical. I think these are all really interesting things to find out about a person, like when you first move in with them. I myself have picked determined, fun, honest, joker, organized, proactive, sociable, which I think is like just me to a T, and I was quite impressed that it did have all those quite different ones. The fact that it has things like tolerant and rational, I think they're quite specific for a personality, which is good. And other than that, you could go over to lifestyle, where you could choose a little bit more about yourself, being like culture enthusiast, an entrepreneur, a fashionista, a family person, a gamer, things like that. So imagine if like a group of 4 people moved in together and they were all gamers. That could be like totally fun. They could all be playing games.
Never leave the house.
Yeah, literally. And that could be just perfect what a particular person might be looking for. But without Badi, I don't think you'd be able to kind of find those interesting personality characteristics on other websites, because that simply isn't an option, and it's actually not the first thing you're going to say on your room advert. Be like, oh, the kind of person I am that you're going to be living with is this, 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 and this.
Yeah,
like,
but you don't really see that at all.
Yeah, but this is kind of a little bit more like a dating app, in which it gives you
dating app for roommates.
Yeah, exactly. So
without the swiping.
Yeah.
So you can really kind of like find people that have similar interests to you, and then you can also chat to them through the app and build a bit of a relationship, which is really handy if you are back in Australia and thinking about moving over here, because you can start messaging people through the app, maybe make a few connections and friends, and then especially if you're traveling over here on your own, if you've been communicating with your new flatmates through this app already, then you have like a nice place to go to, you have some friends already that can maybe help you out a bit. Another handy thing as well, if you're moving over from Australia, is you can actually put the deposit down in the app, which is really useful for people who are here renting out a room and people who are coming over. So you can put the deposit, pay it through the app, and it's held securely, and then 2 days after the move-in date, it's released to either who you're getting the room off of or the landlord, because over here it's quite common for you to come on and sublet or take over someone else's lease before it's up. So you might not actually be paying your deposit straight to the landlord, which can seem pretty stressful and tricky, but it happens quite often, to be honest. You'll be paying it to the tenant moving out of the room, and then the landlord, you get that the deposit that the old tenant put in. So it's quite handy that you can do that, because say if you know, the person who has the room knows, yep, they've paid the deposit, like they don't have it yet, but they've paid it, and it's a bit of insurance for the person moving in. So if something happens, you know, if something goes wrong, you don't do it, or you go there and it's totally not at all what you're expecting, you've got that insurance that you haven't already given your money away. It's in the app. So it's kind of a nice little reassurance for everybody involved. And so for our next vlog, we are going to be doing a little video on areas to live in London. So just a bit of an overview of like areas that we like, areas that are great for other Australians if you are feeling a bit homesick and you want to move in somewhere that's got some good coffee down the road. Areas if you like going out, going to bars, things like that. So stay tuned, and that will be up soon.
Thanks guys. See you later. Bye.